Well, good evening, everybody. We've got a new look. Voila. Artemis is launching in the morning, and we've got a space look. I got enterprising over my little break and set up my green screen and kind of dialed this thing in pretty good. I've got a couple of more little parts coming that will make it a little better, but did pretty good. So anyway, hi. Hope you've had a good week. Thank you for being here. I'd love to get caught up on some of these great notes. Now, we have quite a few new people. So if you're leaving a message, I'll just scroll through these and it comes up like this, Facebook user. Here's the deal. We are doing this on a service called StreamYard. A lot of people are using it these days. It's a great program. And it allows us to simulcast on Facebook and YouTube. Problem is, the YouTube people don't see the Facebook comments. And I think I don't know, the other way around, but in the post, in the StreamYard post, and I know this gets confusing, there are two posts. I put up the Facebook Live event because that hits like that, kind of gets everybody. And then I set up the StreamYard and it puts a post in Facebook, and it should be the post that you connected to when you refreshed the screen. In that post is a link. If you click on that link and give StreamYard permission to show your name, then we can see your name. You don't have to. Not a problem if you don't want to. I think you might have to refresh after you do that. And people tell me that you have to do it every time. So that's why these come up. But thank you for joining us. And hello to everybody. Cheryl, I sure hope you get to see that firecracker go up in the morning. She lives within sight of it. Now, those of you in Florida, Artemis 1 rocket has its first launch window starting at 8:33 in the morning. If it goes up in the morning, they say it could be heard as far away as Orlando. Wow. It's the biggest, most powerful thrust rocket that's ever been launched. So, and it'll be all over YouTube in the morning if you want to watch it live. This was cool. Kathy, I'd love to know more about this. This is great. Sitting by the river, listening to the session. That has got to be just way too cool. So Mallory, hello. Thank you, Susan. All right, Melissa has kind of been on fire. She is going strong. School starts this week for them. So I'm trying to get to where I can read this without looking down. Next week, I've got an idea of something. Give me one more week and I might have that dialed in. We'll see if we can do it. But I don't want to, look like an old man looking up over his bifocals. Well, let me see here, Melissa. I'm trying to read what you're saying here. I can't read it very good. My glasses are all fogged up. I'm just going to look down. I have a monitor right below the camera. In fact, you can see it right there. Getting all this dialed in, but I will try to do it with a teleprompter next week where I can really read it, because this might work. Let's just see. Hang on just a second here, guys. Just a quick sec. I put so much time into this. Lowering this thing down a few inches isn't going to take but a second. All right. I hope you're having a good week. Live and breathe and live on your highest timeline. What we like to do around here. Set intentions on that beautiful new moon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you, Susan. I'm enjoying this. You guys are liking it. Good. Well, here's the cool part. Okay, so when I do, here's Fun Astrology. Now the background would have to change, but I can do it like the weatherman. See, just throw the chair aside, and like I can point to, well, there's Saturn, right? we've had enough of that. Here, let me get this off of here. And like, oh, here's what I set up for tomorrow is there's the moon tomorrow morning at 0 degrees Libra, and it moves into the moon. It moves. I almost didn't get on time, so I'm a little bit. Take a breath. This right here, Libra for 2 days. That's what I'm trying to say. And the next day, there's a yod in the chart, finger of God, right? Here's what the yod is. I can just show you. South node, the sun, that's the sextile, that's the base of the hat, if you will. And then it goes up here to Jupiter and back down to the south node. And so and I'm giving you a little advance. So over the next couple of days, what could come up for all of us, the sun, us, you, me, stuff from the past, the south node, past karma, unresolved issues, and it could be more exaggerated with that Jupiter in retrograde. So with that, the symbolism is we are going to revisit things that might come up from the past for all of us. I'm going to sit down because I don't have the camera yet quite set for both positions, but you see what I can do with this. It's really cool. It's very powerful and it's very fun, and I'm really looking forward to maximizing it. So, yeah, so over the next several days, if stuff comes up, well, obviously we can invite it and we can work on it and we can review it and we can change it, go in the opposite direction, favorite tool, and also give grace, because your partner, your coworker, your boss, your kids might be feeling that too. Okay, let me show you one other. You guys are getting the sneak peek here. All right, this one is really powerful. Mars in Gemini is square to the sun. That's a tense aspect. My friend Chet called last night and said that there had been, police were reporting a shooting in a mall in North Carolina, in Raleigh. Well, turns out the police said there was no gunfire, it was just a fight. Well, just a fight. That's Mars and the sun. So with the yod, people are going to be facing some business. And with that sun and Mars, they're going to want to be pushing on it. So there you go. There's the sky. Typically, we don't do that here. We don't go into astrology, but thought that we would do that. All right, let me get caught up with some of these comments, and then we're going to roll here. Hey, Lori, good to see you again. I'll just let you guys read some of these. Oh, Susie, good. Wow, that's cool. Hey, Nancy. All right, let's roll on here because I've got several things that we're going to do, and this is going to be fun tonight. So the first thing, just kind of punching down this list real quick, I did want to just thank you guys oh so much for your amazing contributions hey guys, I've got a podcast coming out with this couple, this beautiful couple right here, Sean and Brielle Keller. We recorded an episode this week about a conscious new community that they are building in the panhandle of Florida. And it is amazing. And I can't wait for you to hear the episode. Probably will come out tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, but it's going to be great. And I'll tell you, I am throttling back. You know, I guess before all of this, I probably would have pushed through and done it today. And, you know, I'm just taking more time for me right now. And we'll talk about that here in a minute too. But thank you for all the contributions from Majana. Collectively, we sent almost $3,000 to Majana. So that is really amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sure that when she gets the headspace clear, that she'll reach out in some kind of way to say thank you for herself, but thank you for everything you did. I really appreciate that. And yes, we have, isn't this fun? I can play with all this. Right now, let me see why that, I don't know why that's doing that, but it's gonna let me fix that real quick. Hang on, see, this is what I have to do. This is why I'm gonna have to get a pan tilt zoom camera, because then I can just set all that stuff up. There you go. Well, that's a little better. So anyway, that's a rocket launch is what that is. That is Florida, and that is a rocket launch. And the Artemis rocket is the largest thrust off the ground that has ever been launched. The space shuttle was the next largest, and the numbers on that are space shuttle was 5.3 million pounds of thrust. Artemis is 8.8 million pounds of thrust. Space shuttle, when it launched, would shake the car alarms on the cars at the parking lot at the Kennedy Space Center, which is 3 miles from the launch pad. So they're saying, if that did that in 3 miles, what in the world is this going to do? They're saying that it could be heard in Orlando. So those of you in Florida, key up, 8:33 in the morning, if it flies. Now, if it doesn't, then there are several launch windows, and they are readily available all over the place online. I wanted to show you something else. This is kind of fun. I'll go back to the stars. So this was a booklet that Jean put together, and Jean is right there. You saw her on the Healing Convergence that we did from her home, and she slipped around and had everybody send in a little kind of note. Here's Nancy's. The mountains are calling it. I must go. Isn't that right? And put in here a little thing from everybody just saying what the trip meant, and these beautiful, amazing photos and pictures. Isn't that the coolest thing? And that arrived this week. You know, the timing of the universe, that could not have been more preciously received than when it arrived a couple of days ago. And it was a day that, you know, still the waves of everything that's been going on were waving. So that showed up, and it was just so cool. All right, let me go back here. I just did my little cheat sheet. Oh, I was talking to Lynn this afternoon, and she suggested I tell you this story. So I was 53 when I first had heart arrhythmia. Got it doing Kundalini. It had nothing to do with the Kundalini. Breath of Fire triggered it, but that was just a trigger. But boy, I had no idea what it would be like to live with this. And we're healing. And I still absolutely believe that this is going to be healed. Totally believe it. Just a matter of time. So I've really stepped up my game this week because I've had a couple of problems. I had another one Thursday night, I think, Wednesday or Thursday night. So there's the latest podcast on Subconscious Mind Mastery, number 307. I told this story, and so you can hear that for the rest of the story. But I had this little prompt yesterday to do something that I'd been thinking about for over a year and just haven't pulled the trigger on it for various reasons, was to get a bed that adjusts. So the head comes up and the feet come up, and it has a zero gravity position. And speaking of launches, during the shuttle program, this whole zero gravity thing, and you know, now you can get these zero gravity chairs, and zero gravity is kind of a buzzword. That all came from the shuttle program, where they put the astronauts in that, basically the position that you see them across the shuttle there when they were doing that. it's the least impactive on your organs and your frame. And it basically, there's an angle. I think it's 60-degree hip to spine angle, but it puts your head above your heart, and then your heart, I think, above your legs, but your legs are elevated. So I slept in the new frame yesterday. This is what you love about Western North Carolina. Went up to a shop within an hour of their closing, and the guy delivered it 2 hours later. Incredible. So I slept on it last night, got the best night's sleep I've had in a long time. So not only do I hope that it's going to keep the pitter patters from coming up, I also hope it's going to provide a lot better oxygenation at night. So that was just a really cool thing. And Len thought that that would be a fun thing to share. So, all right, here's another thing that came up. You guys coming in October, except this won't be green. It will be gold and red and yellow and all kinds of beautiful colors. Saw a video this week of a new kind of muscle testing. And oh, I included it in the video in podcast 307. It's in there, but I'm going to show it to you. So what was explained is that you have yeah, that is, isn't it? It's a fun deal. The way this was explained, and I don't know with physiology how accurate this is, I don't know. But it was explained that your arm has two electrical current feeds coming up into your hand. One covers these fingers, and the other just covers your pinky. So two sources, what am I looking for? Circuits, two circuits. So what she was saying is if you do a muscle test, like a lot of people do this and then try to break it or something, if you do that, you're on one circuit. What she was showing is if you connect the pads of your thumb and pinky, that completes the circuit. Then you do this on your non-dominant hand. Then you take your dominant fingers, thumb and index, and put them together. And you're not going to try to pry it apart. You're not going to try to push this open. What you're going to do is try to pry it open, like this was like Jaws, but it's opening up. So what you're going to try to do is pry it open. So let's just do a little test here. This is all of us together on Healing Convergence, and we love Sunday nights. All right. And it's tight. See, it's hard for me to even break it apart. My name is Juan, and I live in South America. I mean, just lift it right off. And I'm trying to hold it together. My name is Juan. Boom, lift it right apart. So I gave this to somebody this week who had not yet broken the code on being able to muscle test in any kind of way. There are several. And showed her this and got a message the next morning. Voila, success. And so if you are looking for a way to activate your body, see, I use muscle testing, and then I also use Fred's Intuitive Awareness Method, which is a book, audiobook, that just allows the answer to that message to just ride right along the chakras for me. That's what it does. So I can feel it. I can feel it right in I can feel it right in through here. When I ask something, I can just feel the answer. It's either up or it's down, basically. Sometimes I'll feel yes or I'll feel no, but I feel down, heavy, or I feel up, light. I've always used this little, but it's very hypersensitive. This is a great little technique, and I love the fact that she's talking about two circuits, and I love the fact that somebody that I know has been able to break through is way super cool. So if that gives you a little something to play with, well, fantastic, great. Now, Here's what I wanted to do for tonight, and then we're going to get into our meditation here. Um, I know I've heard a lot of comments, and I know that everybody is like just really, oh, here we go. Hey, we got somebody else doing it. Good. Fantastic. Good deal. Glad that helped. I think it's really cool. I think it's great. Um, hey, Tanya, we've got you on the list tonight, girl. We'll get to that here in just a second. So I just know that there's a lot of heavy energy in the world right now. And I know a lot of us have been feeling it. I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago around Majana's situation, and the conversation turned to everything. In fact, she's on our list tonight too, Jan. Conversation turned to what can we do? And it goes back to the roots of this very thing. What we can do is send love into the world. Well, sometimes love shows up, like our beginning slide said, without even a word having to be spoken. And I wanted to show you some slides and some pictures of one of you, a listener who lives in Texas. I'd like you to meet the family of Brett and Stacy Stubblefield and their amazing daughter, Riley. Riley turned 17 not long ago, and she is just an absolute adorable gem that shows so much love, as you can tell. And let me read through Stacy's words to me this afternoon as she gave me background of things that I didn't know, but I appreciated as we were going to do this tonight. She said Riley was born in 2005, had the most amazing pregnancy, no complications, was a stay-at-home mom, relished every second. Riley was advanced walking at 9 months, talking in little sentences by 18 months. At around 20 months, while on a little beach vacation, she started to show flu-like symptoms. It very quickly escalated, and we ended up calling 911, only to witness her first seizure in the ambulance as we were going to the children's hospital. We were eventually given the awful diagnosis of encephalitis, inflammation of the brain caused by unknown source, virus. They said she might not. This is where you love medicine. They do their best. They truly do. And they work under very difficult situations. But I think a lot of us know that things are capable a lot of beyond diagnoses. They were saying that if she survived at all, that she would be blind, deaf, possibly confined to a wheelchair. Well, after many months in ICU and inpatient rehab, we were sent home, Stacy said, with a completely different child. Now, at 17, I am happy to say that she is able to walk just fine. She did not lose any hearing or vision. Unfortunately, she has epilepsy and suffers from drug-resistant seizures and is completely nonverbal. She is such a sweet and loving little girl, and you can just tell that from the pictures. Her cousin, who is only 2 months older, wrote a school essay about her. The topic was, "Is happiness a choice?" He wrote that if anyone should be sad and depressed, it would be her, but she is all smiles and love all the time. Riley is everyone's hero. And if you just see Stacy's pictures on Facebook, you realize that that is absolutely the truth. And Stacy had a little comment about her husband, Brett, Riley's dad. Her comment was, "This is the most amazing man in the world." And I got to say, from what I've seen of their family, I would absolutely agree. So I just wanted to show you these pictures. They'd come up and I saw that it was Riley's birthday, and I think I acknowledged her birthday on Facebook a while back, and I'm not sure if this is the last. Yeah, that's the last one. But I just wanted you guys to see that and share in that love of that family. And as we've seen so many of these things happening in the world, we don't know anything about the picture. But what we do know is here's a family in Texas listening to this podcast and the stuff that I've been putting out who exudes love right in their own home, all from a teenage girl who got encephalitis and can't speak, but boy, can she ever radiate love. That's what this is all about. That right there is what this is all about. That was not taken in Texas. That was not sent by Stacy. That was up the road. The other night, I went up there to just kind of get centered, and I set an intention for protection. And that big old boy, I mean, those are such beautiful animals. Let me step out of the way here and let's just see that. They are so beautiful. Sorry the picture got cut off. I was trying to do my best, you guys. But they are incredible animals. They are so pretty. And he was just standing there by himself. Nobody else was around. For quite a while, I had the place to myself. It was just incredible, amazing. So that was fun. Well, we do have a lot of requests tonight. So, I was over in Cherokee this afternoon and I got us something. This, anybody know what this is? It's about, I wish I could get it back against the wall, maybe you can see. So it's about, the size of my torso area. That is a dried cactus with beads in it. They make these down in Chile. The little pebbles or beads, yeah. And the Indians would use it as a symbol of making rain. Ooh, there's more. So we'll do that when we get to our meditation too, but I just we've added a little instrument. And my Indian drum went flat during the move. But when we get going on the meditation, we'll get into that. So there are just, again, so many requests. So a dear friend in Dallas, Jan Pearman, is a very good friend of Majana's. And Jan's son, Rob, 54 years old, terminal lung cancer, on hospice, on oxygen. And Jan just watching things that have been unfolding with Brock, and now her son. It's just a very, very heavy load. So let's hold Jan up. Riley still has the seizures. Wouldn't it be wonderful if she didn't? Wouldn't it be wonderful for Brett and Stacy if she didn't? Susan has this endometriosis diagnosis. She's been keeping us posted. And Susan, I hope that you will keep us posted when that comes on Tuesday. Tanya, our wonderful Tanya, has COVID. Her dad has the esophageal cancer that he's had for, it's been fast. The report came this afternoon from Melissa that things are not looking good for her dad, and she has COVID. We had a request from Nancy to pray for Nick. Ricardo mentioned lower back and neck pain. You know, we had so many last week. Brittany had a post about her dog. And then Lisa, who's coming on our trip, she had a post that this was really weird. Me and Facebook, you know, I clicked it to approve it and it just was not there. So she came in and put back basically the kind of thing that's going on. Her partner, Kevin's dad is not doing well, needs some heart and lung healing. She doesn't want to go into details here, but just that's enough. And also for Kevin to have clarity around this because he's 1,300 miles away from his family. And then Lisa lives in a very small town. Everybody knows everybody. Her dear friend Jess just laid her dad to rest after a 10-day bone cancer diagnosis. And late last night, they learned of a kind, loving gentleman in their town passed away due to West Nile virus. He ran a catering business. His joke was, "We have the best buns in town." Obviously, a good sense of humor, a great sense of humor. He and his wife also had a lawn and garden shop with a greenhouse. He was a volunteer firefighter, always at city events. So she said it's been a heavy weekend for them. So, you guys, I don't know why we're going through these challenges like we are. I don't know what's behind it. But I just say the thing that we have, that we can control, is our energy level. And if we take just a little bit of time, this is a perfect venue on Sunday nights. We focus on love. And then if you are crazy like I am and you loop the Ram Dass song, I Am Loving Awareness. If you're new here, we talk about it quite a bit. It's you can find it on YouTube and all the music services. Ram Dass, the guy you know, the spiritual teacher, and Krishna Das, who is his name's going to escape me. He was one of the co-founders of the band Blue Oyster Cult. Renamed many decades ago when he went to India, renamed to Krishna Das, and that's his music label name. Jeffrey somebody. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But they both, so Krishna Das does the music, and then Ram Dass talks through it after his stroke, and it's just a really cool mantra. I am loving awareness, with the idea being that I am aware, I love everything I'm aware of. That's a game changer, because most of us don't do that. We react to everything. You know, but do we have loving awareness of everything around us? So being in that space of love and that commitment. And so let's bring these, and I know you guys have been probably posting some things that I haven't seen. A little sage spray for us. Let me get myself here too. Boy, that stuff smells so good. That as we settle into this meditation and all those things that we just mentioned and the others that have been dropped in, that we hold each other up. This is where we get our strength. So, as I mentioned, I was over in Cherokee, about 30 minutes from here. That's the tribal headquarters of the eastern branch of the Cherokee Nation. It's another story we go into later. But let me get a sip of tea. Heated some up before I came on here. True heroes. About 100 of them fled to the hills during the roundup. And they're the ones that are now, were given this tribal land that's just over the mountain from where I am. And they are very keen on keeping their Cherokee culture alive. And to the Cherokee, the tribe was everything. The tribe was the hub of their life. This is what Sean and Brielle describe in the podcast interview that we did of building a tribe community on this 15 acres of property in the panhandle of Florida. All people of like-minded, conscious objectives, beliefs, commitments. A tribe. And that's what has been formed here over the course of just over a year, is this group has become its own tribe. We've got each other's backs. There are a lot of little sub-conversations going on among members of this group. And Sarah and Katie have their podcast, For the Love of Two Hippies, and they have a book club. So there's just all this stuff going on around the community that we are. And even though it's virtual and we're trying to do things where we can meet, we do have the connection. I wanted to show you this too. This was that bowl that I got last week at a little plant shop down the road. And if you remember, these guys were about, I'm going to say, a third smaller than they are now. I mean, they shot up. And I've been telling this, I love it every day. And I've been giving it love, and I move it to the best places around during the day. And it is just vibrant and healthy and doing great. And we used this as an object of love. And it was what I used for a couple of days this week to pass some love. And now see, it's fibrillating right there. It's well, no, that's sinus rhythm. But that's kind of the idea. Why are you doing this? Stop it. Bob Newhart. Stop it. Stop it. Nope, not going to do it. No, it's too close. I've got the camera too close, and I don't want to risk moving this and having it fall off the table. So, yeah, I do too, Tanya. I was going to try to leave it up while we do our meditation because that was so cool last week. That we set an object of our attention and focus our love through that. It becomes a catalyst, a vehicle that we can all connect to. So as we settle in for tonight's get together, let's start with an Om. How about that? In fact, let's start with this. We'll just get this going this way. Let's just start with an Om together. Take a good exhale. Let all that stale air out. Good inhale and let's just connect through the garden again. What I've been doing is filling the bowl full of love so that it spills over, spills out. And let's think of ourselves as a tribe. Think of an old Indian village, teepees around the main hall where everybody gathers, various people doing the chores. Some are out hunting for provisions. Some are taking care of what has been brought in. All self-sustaining, no grocery stores, no malls, no cars, no pollution, pure human connectedness with the earth. Wouldn't it be nice to get back to that? And you know what else they had around the tribe is they had each other's backs. A bond that was impenetrable. It was the life of the tribe. If there wasn't harmony and unity in the tribe didn't survive. That's us. We have a lot of new people. What we've been doing is basically we connect by touching either your phone or your computer, or you can touch the screen if you want to connect directly to the plant. I'm going to put my hand right here on the plant. Let's see if I can get it where, there we go. And you can even touch right up to there, and connecting us all energetically. And we think back over people's names that we've seen over the course of the evening so far, and we think of their journey. Some we know a little better than others, some we might not know at all, some we can't identify. We're all on our journey. And we hold an image of a person that comes to mind, or we scroll back up through the list, picking somebody, or somebody from the Facebook group if you're on there, or the Discord group if you're in there, Just an image of somebody that you can connect with energetically. And hold that person's energy on your left side. Maybe even you envision holding hands or in an arm lock, arms around shoulders, touching. We've lost the gift of touch through the pandemic. And then another person who comes to mind, and put them on your right side. And then the rest of the group together as a tribe, just like if the tribe were eating, or if the tribe were dancing and celebrating, or if the tribe was doing a ceremony, all together, connected, like a grid. Think of a grid in your mind where we are all interconnected in this matrix grid. So the one goes to the other, to the other, to the other. That's our unit. That's our connection. And as we've seen, some of us in the grid are hurting physically, pain in our bodies. Just send through the grid from your heart through the bowl. Use the bowl. Use the bowl as the vehicle. Fill it up with love and then send it down the grid to those people whose bodies are in pain tonight. Like it might even hurt to sit to listen to this. Maybe some are having to stand or do both. Some among us, relatives, will not be in the physical for much longer. Send them love and light and comfort and peace as they prepare for their transitions. And in those cases where it is divine will, pray rain. Pray for a miracle. Be bold in asking. Some in our tribe are hurting emotionally. Loved ones who are gone now. They've gone to the other side to help from there. Loss of physical relationships where nobody has transitioned, but what was alive and together is no longer alive and together, and that causes pain. For some, either children or parents are alienated from each other. Some have been separated from their employment recently. Think of them sending love down the grid. Fill the bowl and send it out. We're a tribe. We've got each other's backs. And now really start to bring that grid together. Sending that love from your heart chakra area into the community grid through the touch of the computer or the bowl, the vision of the bowl, whatever you're using to connect. Send it out, send it down the line. And send pure love. I am loving awareness. How is it that these people who say that they have been healed during these sessions, like Susie said she could put weight on her sprained knee after the session, Scott 2 weeks ago, a back issue, Michelle Noy with her son Doug, healed of cancer? I mean, it's gone. How does that happen? How could that possibly happen metaphysically or energetically? There's only one way, and that is that for a long enough period of time, there was enough pure love poured into those situations that the disease was offset. It's an energetic mismatch. One has to go away. And for those of you who are praying for your loved ones who have either recently transitioned or are near transitioning, don't forget, we don't understand the tapestry. Like we talked about last night, there are things going on that we don't know. And sometimes the greatest gift of love is the transition. And that's hard for us to understand. But on the other side, it's an escape. It's a release. It's the better option for their soul. So we release them. Really pour the love out. Send the love through the grid. Send the love to that person that you picked to be on your left. Give them a big hug. Oh, give them a great big hug. Big tight squeeze. And send a beam of love straight to their heart from yours. And then that person on the right, same thing, big hug. See, everybody in here is getting a hug of some sort now. And send them love from your heart to theirs. The highest energy, emotion we humans have. And if it's not conditional, then it's really pure. Now let's focus our heart chakras toward the bowl. And let's focus our love to the bowl to fill it up with love. I don't know how those plants can take it right now. I know they're getting a love bath. You know they feel it. And focus it right to the bowl. And then we'll invite the bowl to be our portal to shoot that love up into the sky and send it out to the whole world. From the earth, the bowl, to the sky, the heavens above. A reflection of our love. The one thing we can do, the one gift we can give, the one thing we can, quote unquote, control, affect, is sending love. And we shoot it up into the sky, into a world that needs it so badly. Turn it up. If you're sending level 8 love, send level 10 love, and then level 12 love, and then level 15 love. Really push it out there. I am loving awareness. Push it hard as a tribe. If we were all gathered around inside of a big teepee, there'd be a big white beam of light going right up through that hole in the top, up into the sky. And wow, would it be powerful in that space. Think of the drums beating. Think of the rain falling. And think that you never would question that Great Spirit was not in control of the whole thing. And all we were doing was just sending our petitions up to the Great Spirit in the sky. The Great Spirit who lives in us and is us as well. Let's keep that image of us in a teepee together in a big circle, holding hands, no break in the connection. We can do that by touching the computer or your phone, tablet. I wish I knew an Indian song or hymn that they might have sung in their native tongue. Wouldn't that be cool? The drums beating, the chants, the harmonies. Hear the music in your own soul, however it shows up for you, of us together, chanting. At least saying, I am loving awareness. And for just a brief moment, you can feel what it must have been like to be in that kind of a community. Because as the evening fades and tires and the fires get dimmer, it's time to shuffle off to sleep because there's hunting and skinning and tanning and cooking and cutting and building and sawing and all the things that need to be done tomorrow. But nobody wants to leave. That is human connection on its purest level. And that's what you're feeling right now. So there is one chant that we can do that everybody knows the words. It's Om. Let's do 3 now to close our time together. Always good to exhale, push that air out. Let it rain. Let it rain. I'm going to be loving this. This is great. Thank you, Esmon. Glad you were here. I've been seeing your notes, but thank you for posting. Wanted to keep things moving tonight. I have to get myself up here a little bit higher. There. We'll get it all dialed in. Thank you, guys. It's gonna pour. Somebody said it did just start raining. Yay. Thank you guys for another magical evening. Really appreciate it. These times together, I'm going to get this thing figured out where I don't have to look down to see what you guys are saying. Oh, I didn't catch you in there earlier, buddy. So for those of you who are new and hanging in there with us, Arnaldo was at Fred Dodson's Orlando seminar back in March, and we met and gave each other a great big hug, I think a couple of times. And he has not missed one of these, that, to my knowledge, since the first weekend of March. But there's one little problem. He lives in Europe, where it's 2 o'clock in the morning when we get started. My hero. Stacy, thank you for radiating love, for giving us a story of connection that we could share a little bit into your family's journey. And we really appreciate that very much. And for Riley, and we'll cover her. We will. She's part of our family. And we've just adopted her tonight, all of us. So we'll be interested to see some things, drop some things in our group, because everybody here is at least connected in the group. They might not be connected with you personally, but we would very much love to see that. So thank you. Thanks for sharing that. I know, isn't that great? Isn't that just a beautiful, the Indian village, the simplicity, no electricity, pure connection to the earth, pure connection to each other. Boy, we have come a long ways away from that, haven't we? It sure does sounds appealing. Well, you're going to hear a podcast about it coming up. I can't wait to get that out. I really seriously, you too, have a wonderful week. Thanks for being here. I love you, buddy. Ronaldo, you are such an inspiration. Oh my gosh. Okay, now let's see. Let me see if I can see. Sometimes I can pop over to Facebook. No, I don't have it loaded. I'm sorry. So I don't know who this is, but pray for my ex-wife for an illness that she can heal and be a better mother. We can co-parent our children. Pray for my mom's post-COVID recovery, her lung tissues. Wow. That's a lot. You got it. It's all covered by what we just did. But yeah, that podcast episode where Sean and Brielle talk about this community that they're building, it's like, it sounds so compelling. It's like, oh my gosh, and probably what we're going to need too. I mean, seriously, we may get the more confirmation of that before their infrastructure is ready for us. We may all be running down there at some point. Oh, that's awesome. Waterfall of loving awareness. Oh, you guys are such a precious couple. I love your energy and everything that you are doing to live a conscious life. And now they have a precious young little boy who I'm going to adopt as one of my podcast grandchildren. I've started to build a list of podcast old Grandpa Thomas here. These conscious kids that are growing up, and since my own kids seem to have their own little thing going on, why I figure this is my family. So I'm gonna be hanging out with you guys. Well, maybe you could create a Facebook post and put it in there. And if you want, perform it. Shoot a video. Let's see what you got. You know, we can be family by choice, or we can be family by force. let's try the choice way. That's a whole lot better. And we know, there are so many of these conscious communities popping up all over the place. We're done. If you guys need to go, I know. Thank you for staying so much. We'll sit around and chat for a little while. I don't feel like signing off yet. This is too cool, too in the moment. I'm in the teepee and I don't want to go outside. There's so many of these conscious communities, and right here in North Carolina, in and around maybe 50 to, I don't know, 70 miles, say, of Asheville, there are a bunch of them already. They're already happening. I'd rather have one bubble up from our group and I had the desire, I had the vision, I had the everything except the physical oomph to pull it off when I came up here to North Carolina a little over a year ago. But here are some folks who do have the oomph and they have the vision. So it's like rally behind. And that's what I thought was to be able to introduce them to you on the podcast, and then you can hear what their plans are. And then, as she said, as Brielle said, this thing has a mind of its own. So it's going to go where it's already heading. And it's a matter of some people will be able to jump on board, and maybe some people will get the North Carolina franchise, which I've already claimed. It's already done. Western North Carolina. We just have to figure out the details. I'd like to be down there in Florida, at least part of the year. So it really is. It's so cool what's going on around Sunday nights is what's incubating all of it. And the ripple effects are just incredible. Oh, look at that. Oh, you found the chant. Oh, that is so cool. Well, sing it to us. I know, we need to do something where we can, I mean, these guys are moving fast too. That's the other thing you're going to hear in the podcast is they are making tracks. They realize the urgency and they already have people on board. I mean, I think from what they said, coming in, signing, ready to go. And you'll hear all the details. We're not going to go into that now. I don't want to steal their thunder for one, but this is going to grow, I think, for sure, into other places. And then, like I said, some will be out of necessity and some will be out of choice. So I'm glad that we have this community. I mean, we're from all geographic areas of the country, but as I have no idea what's in front of us. I truly, really don't. People have asked me a lot, well, what do you think is seriously? I know what the shadow side of the astrology says. Seems to be the side we're favoring collectively. And I know what Fred says. But I have heard all this stuff all of my life that I'm kind of tired of the sky is always falling. It's like, and here we are again. So astrology has two sides. I have two sides. I feel like we can create our own choice of how we are going to go through whatever it may be. And also, really, and this is kind of the thing that's the prominent feature of what these guys are talking about, is not, okay, maybe something happens, maybe something doesn't. If it does, you're ready. But if not, you're creating a really awesome, amazing life anyway. That's the cool part. That we've gotten so far away from, like the picture that we created tonight, the tribe and the land and the earth and the elements, being able to see the Milky Way at night and seeing all of Elon's Starlinks going buzzing around. Must have launched another rocket. You see all that when you're out there in the country. Taking care of each other. Now you lock your front door, and if somebody knocks on it, like the old speakeasies, what's the password? We've gotten so far away from just being open and with each other. So we're incubating that too. Doesn't your heart feel more open as we do these to others? Yeah, that's a good, that's a really good That's a really good thing to think about. As we do this and we open our hearts to each other, even if we hold the image of something in our mind that we channel it through, we punch it through something, that maybe it gets easier to um, love and accept others just as they are. I don't know. That's an interesting one. This gets really deep, by the way. I hope you can come, Michelle. I really, really do. That's what I've been saying, y'all. Come on. I thought I would be coming to you in the van, but that didn't work. So we tried. You know where my heart is. Gemini is going to be interesting. Oh, we should do that. I know there are some artists in this group. We could get somebody to make a crest for us. That would be really cool. Hey, I'll tell you what. Great Spirit built this city. Lynn and I just had an idea talking on the phone one day. I'll tell you what, this highest timeline is a really big deal. If you guys are doing that, if you're, the idea was to the next, I'll come back to that in a sec. The next gathering is in October. It is technically full because I have to keep the group size to something that my little boom, 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 boom can manage. I really still do need one of you or two of you to emerge as co-facilitators to help take that load off of me. It's the third weekend of October. We'd love for both of you to come. I mean, that would be ideal. If you want to come, shoot me an email. I do not use Facebook Messenger. I have to cut it off somewhere. I know I see the little badge up there, and sometimes I click on it because it says, all these messages, and I'm like, I can't do it. I've got people who have ordered reports right now that I have not been able to oomph myself back over, and I'm contemplating whether to give them refunds and just say I've taken reports off of the Fun Astrology website because I can't be in integrity of having those out there and not having the wholehearted ability or path to crank them. I have to put the birth information in 4 different software programs. Re-enter, 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 spell check, proof, right day, and something invariably slips through, and it's just became more of a burden. So it's like I had to just pull in and stop. So kind of the same thing with the group. We got to a size of about what we had before, and I was like, that's enough. That's enough. So if you want, email me, or I was going to say, you can do admin@funastrology.com. Will get to me, admin@funastrology.com, if you'd like to come. But I need to kind of take a look at the roster and see if anybody's dropped out and make sure. So you check on your end, and then you can check with me on my end, and we can compare notes. That period of time is likely to be really beautiful up high. So you'll want to be sure to go drive on the Blue Ridge Parkway to make sure that you can catch some of the color that will be up high at that point. Ooh, you know, that is the coolest part, Esmon, is when people say, wow, you know what? If you're having a bad day, then just go hang around Esmon. You'll feel better. That's like the highest compliment. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that. I hope you can too, Tanya. I would love to give you a big hug. Yeah, just be in touch with me and we'll work out the details. Did you come in through YouTube before? Seems like you did. You there? Um, anyway, we'll get it. That link is up there. I know it's confusing. Um, Thanks, Esmon. One of my downfalls is I can push too hard, and I did ahead of the August group because the reason I pushed so hard was, see, I do this radio show that airs in Dallas. It's a weekly show, but it's all edited. So it's a lot of hours, just screen time hours. And I was taking off the first part of August. My client was taking off the middle part of August. And I didn't want to finish the trip and then have a stack of editing just sitting there waiting for me. So I wanted to be 2 or 3 weeks ahead going into the trip. Well, what I basically did was had to cram very full weeks into the month or so, 6 weeks ahead of the trip. And it was noble effort, but it was too much. So too much for me. So that's kind of what I know. Oh, that's down under. Better get your day going. Thanks for being with us. I love it when you guys are able to log on. That's just so cool. That is so cool. All right, guys. Well, have a good one. Yes, the cockatoos are cockatooing, so let's go to bed. Well, you guys on the Pacific coast, heck no, it's just dinner time. So, anyway, thank you so much. This is so amazing. Thank you for your support these last 2 weeks. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. We're all in this together. And thank you again for your selfless and generous outpouring to Majana to help just lift that burden of those expenses that she didn't have to worry about. And thanks to you. And oh, we need to do that. I'll put that up for next week. I'm going to put everybody's name on it. I wanted to do this week and just forgot. So I'll make it the first note for next week that we're going to put everybody's name on a piece of paper and we'll just have a little ceremony of may that blessing come back to you. So we'll set that intention now. It's already in the space. We don't have to do anything, but we'll formalize it together in the tribe next week. And just to say thank you so much for being generous, and may it find its way back to you on wings in multiple fold. So really appreciate it. All right, you guys have a good one, and we will. Oh, I've already got. I've already got some of next week's podcasts going on Fun Astrology. So, the YouTube Fun Astrology channel and the YouTube Fun Astrology, TikTok Fun Astrology. I'm going to try to figure out how to make that more fun for TikTok. but I'm really wanting to get it out there. And you know what? This came from the interview with Sean and Brielle, because they're both in the film production business. And of course, I did television production. They're more on the film, commercial, documentary, movie side. I was more on the television show side. That was mostly what I did, was produced or edited specialty broadcast programming. But as we were talking, I thought, I don't think anybody is doing astrology like a weather forecast on YouTube. I was like, all we need is a green screen. So we got one. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Movie magic. Sorry to disappoint you. It looks better this way, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. Looks better that way. All right, we're going to have some fun with this, though. It's going to be great. You guys have a great week. I'll see you on the podcasts, and we'll see you back next Sunday night. Stay safe. Put a bubble of protection around you. Wherever you go anywhere, put a bubble of protection around you. All right? Take care. Love you. Good night.